Every brand tells a story. And they are the storytellers. The Sutradhars. They present a brand with band, baja and barat to you. They are the Brandwallahs. Consumer goods lie at the heart of everyday life. But the sector is facing seismic shifts today. E-commerce is reshaping shopping journeys. Consumers are demanding more personalization. And sustainability is moving from aspiration to expectation. Consumer goods brands are reinventing how they connect with customers. From digital-first strategies and evolving shopper behavior to the growing demand for purpose-driven brands, marketing leaders are at the forefront of this transformation. On this special edition of the Brandwallahs, we bring you the best conversations with the best CMOs of leading consumer goods companies on how they are navigating disruption, building brand resilience, and tapping into new growth opportunities. From creating purpose-driven narratives to balancing tradition with innovation, these leaders share insights on what it takes to keep consumer trust alive in a competitive, fast-changing world. How do you market rice? What is the communication strategy? It is the most ubiquitous thing in households across the length and breadth of the country, irrespective of whether rice is their staple or not. There is rice that's bought by Indians from north to south, east to west. How do you market a branded version of rice?
A very, very interesting question that, a lot of people have asked me about. And, rice, as we all know, while it is a relatively lower involvement kind of a category, but in India, food is an emotion, as we all know, right? And that's the fundamental truth that we work on when we talk about marketing rice. Gone are those days when in staples, people used to talk about the functional benefits of, say, a packaged rice or a brand over, in a commodity space. What we have built our strategy on, essentially, is to build an emotional connect with consumers. And over the years of decades of communication that you will see us do, that's the anchor that we have tried to kind of build back. And we've talked about some of the functional benefits that India Gate brings to the table versus other products available in the market. In our case, we talk a lot about aging, for example. And we had a campaign which ran for almost 5 years, which spoke about that through the campaign called India Gate, India Ki Purani Aadat, which actually amplified the product benefit into the communication. And, that's how we tend to, look at rice.
A diamond is forever. Talk to us about how did that come about exactly, and all the stories and the emotions attached to that line, a diamond is forever.
Actually, it's a very nice story about how this line came about. The agency that we were working with in 1947 was AWIR, and the copywriter in that was Frances Geretti. And she had a presentation the next day to De Beers about the campaign, and she just couldn't figure out what to show. And late at night, she was breaking her head, and she just jotted down "a diamond is forever." And that's how the whole line came into being, and now it's become iconic.
So it was by pure accident and the need to meet a deadline.
Yes, and a second of inspiration.
Wow, incredible. It's lived on for
more than 75 years.
You sell engine oils and engine lubricants, which is used. It is so ubiquitous. It's used by one and all. How do you market something like that? What is the communication strategy? Who exactly is your target consumer?
It's
it's not a product that's visible to you, right?
Yeah.
It's called, in our category, we call it the under the hood product.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's everybody is using it, and it's like it's running the heart of your vehicle, whether it's your car, whether it's your bike or your truck or your tractor. You cut across all segments, right? So it runs the heart of your engines. Who's your target audience? Very interesting, because target audience for me is, it's multi-layered. You have the end consumer, people like you and me, who own cars, who own bikes. We get our car serviced, we get our bike serviced, we need an engine oil replacement, right? At the same time, one of the very important target audiences for me is the influencer, and the influencer in my case is the mechanic. It is essentially the mechanic who's actually keeping the vehicles going. They keep our world running because they are the ones who are actually fueling this entire, servicing of your vehicles. They're ensuring that your vehicles are in shape for you to do your job, for you to get your business, for you to run everything.
How do you build a liquor brand in India for the Indian market, which is overwhelmingly dominated by either global brands, iconic global brands, or legacy Indian brands? How do you do it afresh now?
We are a young company. We started our branded business only in 2012. So we are like a small company with the big elephants in the room. See, brands are like humans. A liquor bottle is like our body, and the liquid inside is like the soul. So you need to focus on both pieces: how the person looks like, what they wear, how they present themselves. Same way, the bottle, when it sits on the shelf, it needs to look attractive, it needs to look appealing. So there's a lot of art and science which goes behind how you create that appealing product. But the more, that appeal brings the consumer one time to the product, but he or she keeps on coming again and again for what is there inside the bottle. So you need to focus more on what goes inside that bottle. So creating the liquid is the most difficult part, actually.
Talk to us. If I were to ask you from the top of your mind, one marketing campaign, one brand campaign, or one advertisement, that is iconic for you, that inspired you the most, your all-time favorite, ad campaign or advertisement.
I think the first one which I really remember very distinctly is early 2000s. We had a campaign with Bachchan Saab on Dabur Chyawanprash. And he comes and he narrates a poem in that, right? Starts with Dhara Hila and Gagan Bhuja. So that's the campaign. If you can play it, it's a very beautiful campaign. That is one campaign, it gives you goosebumps, it's that kind of a campaign. It's so beautiful. 22, 23 years later, we again shot with Bachchan Saab on another brand, Red Toothpaste. That's another campaign which I very clearly, distinctly remember, which was like really entertaining to watch and really did very well for the brand. Apart from that, yesteryears, if you remember, in 1980s, there used to be a campaign on Hajmola, which used to be a dormitory scene in a school hostel in which all the kids are playing at night at the time when they're supposed to sleep, and they are rolling bottle of Hajmola. And there's a Hajmola Sir campaign. That's another very iconic campaign which I still remember. These are the campaigns which really have been iconic for Dabur, and it basically set Dabur apart from others in a very crowded marketplace.
I'm sure you would be aware we've just taken on Mr. Amitabh Bachchan as our brand endorser. And this was an idea which was kind of co-created by us and Mr. Bachchan himself, because he felt very strongly about it. So we launched this new campaign about Indian values and how Indian values are critical. How this all started was the fact that we all know that when food happens in India, people come together over food, right? But we took this to a different level where we said that when people eat together, values get transmitted. And as India Gate, we always felt that as a legacy brand, we could have the position of talking about Indian values. And who better than Mr. Bachchan to talk about Indian values in his own way? So I think this whole piece is something that we're trying to create as that whole Surf Excel property that I talked about. So this is where we intend to take the brand into a very different level. Initially I spoke about how staples has now moved from a very functional conversation to a very, laddered up, emotional, societal impact kind of conversation. So that's how we see a brand of our stature really moving up.
Can you tell us, what is that one marketing campaign or brand campaign that you worked on, that you sort of thought hit the nail on the head?
Yeah, I think in our category, at the end of the day, I truly believe that any campaign to move the needle has to tug at your heart. You have to move some emotion, right? For any marketing to be effective. You can be very transactional in your approach, but that won't give you the kind of brand scores or the brand preferences and the loyalty that you're looking for. I think the one that's very close to my heart and is again linked to mechanics. Every year we run March, the month of March, as the International Mechanics Month, wherein we go out and all forms of media and touchpoints are activated. As employees also, we go out in the field, each one of us from Valuable Incumbents, we go out, we thank our mechanics. We kind of celebrate them. So it's a month of celebration of mechanics. We activate radio, we activate digital, television, we go out on ground. And I think the theme of the campaign is mechanics keep your world moving. So I think that really tugs at your heart, because you're telling everybody that, hey, these are the guys who are working in the background. They're working day and night, but they are the ones who are actually keeping your world running. So let's go and thank them. I think that's a campaign that we've worked very meaningfully and with all our heart. We also go and we run programs on educational programs, upskilling programs for mechanics. We go and talk about those. Product becomes incidental in that campaign, and that's very nice. You just go and express your gratitude to the community.
The campaign that we are doing now is when you are talking about precious relationships and the relationship between a child and a parent. I don't think there's anything more precious than that or more valuable than that. And at that point, when you want to commemorate that relationship, celebrate that relationship, I don't think factory-made products really cut the point. So and that is what we actually are bringing out, that when a love is so natural, only natural diamonds will do.
Okay. And I want to understand, what exactly is your marketing mix like? Where do you advertise the most? Is it more in traditional platforms like newspapers and television advertisements? Because it's changing right now. So many are shifting all those advertising spends and marketing spends to the digital platforms and online marketing. So as far as marketing Diamond is concerned, marketing De Beers Diamond is concerned, what is the marketing mix like?
Actually, with this campaign is something that really opened our eyes. So we also believe that digital is a large part, digital and social media is a large part of where your spend should go. And our media agency Havas was actually keep pushing print to us, as in they still believe in the power of print. This campaign we launched a print campaign parallel to the digital campaign, and the digital campaign has definitely done well, but the amount of feedback that we got on the print campaign was unimaginable. So, for example, our CFO got a message from a completely unknown person saying, I read your ad in the newspaper and I think it's such a lovely ad, and congratulations, you all should please congratulate your marketing team, you all should keep doing these ads further. Completely unknown people. I mean, in this day and age, for people to make the effort to go back and give this, search for the person, give this kind of feedback is huge.
We keep it simple. We do not try fancy stuff. We try to interact with the consumer at the point of purchase, whether it is the retail environment or in the on-premise environment. I think it makes a bigger and better impact and gets you better return for every marketing rupee that we spend on the brands. So whether it is in-pack consumer offers, whether it is putting up promoters or merchandisers on ground, working with the retailers in terms of visibility for the brand. The basics remain the same. जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. So you just need to remain in the consideration set of the consumer, and it's easier said than done because you are not the only guy doing that. There are about 20 odd other brands fighting for the same thing, but that's where the execution quality matters. So like I said, I believe that strategy is a commodity. So you can have, anyone can build a strategy, but how you execute is what makes difference between a successful and not so successful brand.
Talk to us at this stage. What, according to you, is the big buzz in the world of advertising and marketing today?
I think AI is the big buzz in terms of how we can use AI more smartly to come out with campaigns which are more focused, more targeted, and which give you the best ROI for marketing monies that you're spending. That's again easier said than done, because again what you need to, so it's like garbage in, garbage out. If you give wrong ideas, it will come out with stupid algorithms back to you.
That's where we need to be discrete between what's actually meaningful in terms of buzz and what's just the noise that is keeping people busy. I just feel somewhere we need to get that balance right. Right? Buzz definitely in a very positive manner is how technology is changing the paradigm. We all know the power of AI, how it is impacting us. Obviously it's impacting us in a very big way, because what it does is it democratizes the power of communication to many people. And it also shifts the power from the brand to consumers in a way. So I think it's a very serious shift if you look at it, if it's happening. But I'm just wary of the frivolous way maybe it may just be getting talked about. So I would say that's a big thing. Content in terms of vernacular, being local, being relevant, I think that's a very important trend, which a lot of marketers...
Hyper-localization.
Absolutely, hyper-localization. How can I be equally relevant to you versus somebody in a completely different context, but your needs could be similar? How can I customize myself? How can I become so locally relevant to you? I think that's one thing, and that there is a very interesting interplay of technology there as well, because eventually you'll use technology to get there. I think
technology is the only thing you can use to
absolutely
get there.
Because I think I remember when we started out marketing, we would talk about one-on-one direct marketing. You remember those days? Wherein direct marketing used to be a subject in what we used to be taught. That's over, because technology doesn't, that gives you that empowerment to go and talk in a very, very hyper-local manner. I think those are good ones. Noise will keep happening. I think a lot of people will do what they're doing.
99 out of 100 marketers would tell you AI is what the buzz is all about. And I won't disagree with it, but I have a slightly different point of view. I think what's going to be increasingly relevant in a cluttered world today is the brand storytelling piece. How brands are going to really connect with consumers through storytelling. I mean, be it in the quirk zone or be it in the emotional storytelling. I think that is very critical. And as brand marketeers, I think given all that is happening today, there is always a temptation to kind of sway away and get swayed by fads, I would say. To stay true to the core of the brand and to build storytelling through that, I think that's going to be a differentiator in today's space.
I think if you leverage AI to the objectives you have as a marketing person or a brand or even a category overall, I think it's a very powerful tool, and we are actually working on something which will help bring all natural diamond retailers and support them in marketing, because there are many. So India has about 500,000 jewelry retailers. Okay, out of that, only 5,000 are actually diamond retailers. Now we want to ensure that people who want to get into the business of diamonds have the adequate support to be able to do that, and we can't reach 500,000. So we are actually leveraging AI to help build that kind of marketing support for those people who are interested in getting into the business of diamonds.
The creative process, for example, the creative process used to be very, very long. Right now, there's a power in the hands of brand managers, So before rolling out the briefs, before telling the agency what to do, they can visualize and think and write the brief using the AI. You can visualize what campaign to put on air. Then the media planning part of it, which is optimization of money, is part of it, right? There is a lot of work happening. So that's the buzzword, so as to say. You can optimize, you can segment your campaign, you can personalize the campaign to the last mile. So this is the growing trend nowadays. I mean, there is still a lot of work to be done over there. For example, in terms of optimization, there's a lot of work to be done.
And what do you mean by optimization?
In the sense that, right now what happens is that in terms of optimization, what I mean is that basically you should reach out to the right person at the lowest possible cost.
Okay.
So right now it's a lot of spray and pray happening.
Ajib, talk to us in terms of what, in your mind is overhyped in the world of advertising and marketing, and hence is quite blah actually, but people keep talking about it all the time.
So I would say India is still a very television-driven country, right? Still, you would see that almost 70% people are still watching TV, and the country which has a huge distribution of newspapers. Somehow these two things are taking backseat, and everybody just running after, say, digital marketing, so as to say. And the myth that digital advertising is cheaper is all wrong.
This is my personal opinion.
Please.
Yeah, I think the advertising just now is quite blah. Yeah.
Advertising as a whole, all advertisements that you see.
I mean, there were times when you used to watch and see iconic advertising, and you say, wow, ads like, say, of Tanish or Titan or even Airtel. Those were ads that you would look at and say, wow. But right now, I think everyone's trying to make very hardworking ads. And there are many messages trying to be said in that amount of time, which I don't know is actually effective, because marketing is also about getting your irrational activated, not only your rational. And to get that irrational activated, I think there are things that you need to do which are simpler, so it hits the point.
I feel marketers are overhyping digital as a medium from the point of view of the role or the impact it has on the brand, right?
Okay.
Purely from the point that it should be seen as one more medium which is relevant today. There could be one more medium which comes in. Digital is here to stay. It's one of the mediums. The hero still remains what you are saying there. It's not really the medium. So I feel the medium is getting overhyped versus the content that you're putting out on that. So my take on that is that. Yeah.
I think moment marketing
Okay.
That's something that everybody jumps onto, right?
Especially on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. You know, we all want to give our own, obviously, take. Rightly so. I mean, it's a democratic platform. But I think
But
that
I feel you. What you mean?
And which is all right. But I think sometimes, you know, let's be a little bit more discreet about, you know, how it may be, you know, do a checklist on relevance sometimes. You know,
And sensitivity as well.
And sensitivity. We don't have to jump onto everything that's coming up and have a point of view. Sometimes it's okay to not have a point of view also.
I think the one thing which came out quite strongly was the metaverse, where they tried to sell it as one place where the Gen Zs of the world were spending most of their time and interacting with the brands. But I think that never picked up in the way Meta wanted, or Meta advertised that this is how it's going to be. The other thing which I believe is that celebrity endorsements sometimes get overhyped. Sometimes the brands use celebrities quite loosely, because just because you have money does not mean that the celebrity and the brand personalities go together quite well.